When did your gut feeling about someone turn out to be terrifyingly accurate? Everyone in my family thought our nanny was a gift from heaven when she started 3 years ago. She showed up to the interview with homemade cookies for us kids and a color-coded schedule that impressed my workaholic parents. She never called in sick and never complained about staying late, and she somehow always knew exactly what my mom needed before she even asked. My dad would joke that she was more organized than his executive assistant, and my mom would laugh and say she didn't know what we'd do without her. But something about her always made my skin crawl, and I couldn't explain why to anyone without sounding ungrateful. Maybe it was how she'd started wearing the same perfume as my mom, or how she'd cut her hair in the exact same style, claiming it was just easier for taking care of kids. She'd even started using my mom's exact phrases like, "Teamwork makes the dream work," and that specific way my mom would hum while cooking. My parents thought it was cute that I was being protective, but I wasn't jealous or protective at all. The thing that really bothered me was how she would stare at my mom when she thought nobody was looking, studying her like she was memorizing every movement, and I'd catch her practicing my mom's laugh in the bathroom mirror. One Thursday, I came home early from school with a legitimate migraine and found something weird in our hallway closet while looking for aspirin. Behind the winter coats was this leather folder that definitely wasn't ours, with my mom's signature, practiced over and over on different types of paper and credit card applications. There were photos of my mom from angles that made it clear she didn't know they were being taken, including some from inside our house when she was supposedly home alone. The nanny must have stayed behind to document everything. There were printouts of her work emails that the nanny shouldn't have had access to, and screenshots of my mom's social media posts with notes written in the margins. The weirdest part was this detailed list in her handwriting that said things like touches ear when nervous, and orders chai latte with oat milk on Mondays, and calls sister every other Sunday at 2 p.m., and even sleeps on left side facing window. I took photos of everything with my phone, then put it all back exactly how I found it, because something told me I needed to be very careful about this, and not let her know I was onto her. The next few days I started paying closer attention, and noticed things that made my stomach turn. She had started answering our home phone with the exact same intonation as my mom, using that specific sing-song way my mom always answered. She'd reorganized the kitchen to match her own preferences, but convinced my mom it had been her idea. I overheard her on a phone call speaking to someone about the transition timeline, and when I walked in, she quickly hung up and said it was just a dentist appointment. That Saturday morning, I pretended to sleep in while everyone went to my brother's soccer game, but I stayed behind to search her room since she lived with us during the week. What I found in her closet made me physically sick, because there were duplicates of my mom's entire wardrobe, including jewelry my dad had given her for anniversaries, and even the designer bag my mom had saved for years to buy. The matching clothes were arranged in the exact same order my mom kept hers, but the worst part was finding a wig that matched my mom's hair perfectly, and contact lenses in my mom's exact eye color sitting next to a passport application with my mom's name, but the photo spot was empty. There was also a notebook filled with my mom's daily routines down to what time she brushed her teeth and which hand she used to hold her coffee mug. I called my aunt, who was a private investigator, and told her everything while sending her the photos. She told me to act normal, but she'd start looking into the background immediately because this was seriously concerning. Within 2 days, she called me back and her voice was shaking when she told me what she'd found. The nanny had done this before to 3 other families, and one mother from a previous family had been institutionalized after having a supposed breakdown that no one could explain. My aunt had found posts on parenting forums from usernames matching my mom's information, but my mom had never used those sites. The posts talked about wanting to abandon her family and feeling like someone else would be a better mother. She'd been building a digital trail to make my mom look unstable while making herself indispensable to our daily functioning. That night, my aunt came over with 2 FBI agents because apparently our nanny was wanted in connection with a mother in Colorado who had disappeared. The children from that family now believed the nanny was their biological mother and had no memory of their real mom. They found evidence in her room that she'd been slowly poisoning my mom with supplements that mimic chronic fatigue syndrome. The storage unit across town had documents to legally change her name and medical records showing she'd been getting cosmetic procedures to look more like my mom. She was trying to steal your mother's entire existence, and she was about 3 weeks away from making her move, the agent told us later.